Okay, let's go ahead and do some other formulas, like let's do another basic one for the average. So for this month, what's the average? Let's see, if I eyeball it, okay, the lowest value in that range is 110, the highest is 220, and in fact, most of them are in the 200s, so maybe 195 or so. In any case, let's get the exact average for the range here. Again, you can click and drag to select it and get a temporary average down below. Ooh, I was only off by 10, 185. Okay, in any case, the formula for getting the average is taking the total and dividing it by, well, how many employees do we have here? 4, to get the average between all the employees for the sales in the month of January. So we can hit the equals key on the keyboard again to let Excel know we're starting another calculation. And what cell has the total? It's that one right there. And then the symbol for dividing, again, the cell total right here by the number of employees is the /. You have the / and the backslash. The / is the key on the keyboard that has the question mark above it. If you hit that, it won't add the question mark unless you hold down the shift key at the same time. So don't hold down the shift key. Just hit the question mark and it'll add a /. As opposed to, let me hit the backspace key, the backslash, which is above the enter key on the keyboard. And we don't want that. So back to the question mark that adds the /. That's for division. And then go ahead and type in the number 4 and hit enter. And there's the average. You can go ahead and click and drag. Again, you saw it down here, the average. So the formula here that we entered is correct. Cool. Now we can go ahead and do it again, but let's do it another way. Let's go ahead and type in the equals key on the keyboard. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and add up the range here if we don't have the total. And we can do that by selecting a cell, plus, select plus, select plus, select plus. The last plus isn't necessary. We want to go ahead and divide the total here by the number of employees to get the average. And so if I do the / and then type in 4, now there's something wrong with this formula. It's going to add the first cell, then the second, then the third, then the last one is going to divide it by 4. I mean, that's not going to be the correct average when I hit enter, because when you select it, the range, you can see we're way off because it's taking the last cell and dividing it by 4 when it should take the sum, you can see up in the formula bar, of everything that we add up first and then divide it by 4. So if you remember back in your algebra days, there's the order of operation. We want to add up everything first, which is the first order. Then after it, the second thing to do is to divide it by 4. So if I go ahead and double click on the cell really fast, I can go ahead and update it down below, or I can select it and update it in the formula. It doesn't matter. But the order of operation starts with parentheses here, saying, okay, whatever's in parentheses, do first. So I'm going to add an open parentheses on the left-hand side, beginning with the first cell, and then close it off on the right-hand side with the last cell. So it says the first thing you're going to do is add up everything. Then after you add up everything and you get a total there, then go ahead and go outside to the second order of operation and divide everything there by 4. Not just D10, but everything, the total, okay? And then go ahead and hit enter. Hey, there we go. Let's go ahead and click and drag, select the range, and you can see down below the average is 191.69. Now you could say, hey, wait a second, my databases are going to be perfect and I'll never have to do that. I'll just go ahead and do the shortcut when I do my average, which is equals, and then get the total here and divide it by 4, and I'm done. Well, if you have a database where you've got a number over here, a number down here, it's not all together, and you want to do a quick average, and maybe you have a number that's over on column AA, row 10, well, instead of clicking all over the place, if you know the cells, then you can just go ahead and type it in without having to, scroll, find it, click on it, and then scroll back. So you can see the advantage of having to do it, as you recall in our first formula, when we started off the long way by just typing in the cells that we know we want to add up. I mean, granted, it's all right there, and there's even a faster shortcut than what I've shown you here, which we'll cover in the next training video. But definitely, each way has its own usefulness to it. I'm all for shortcuts as long as it makes sense and it works with my database. So, let's come back over here. You may do it by simply getting a total and dividing it by 4, or adding up a range, dividing it by 4 with the order of operation. And then once you have that, since they're adjacent to one another, you can just go ahead and copy and paste. And so you've got the last formula here. Control-C to copy, and then Control-V to paste, or let me hit the escape key. You can use the autofill handle, hover over the lower right-hand corner of the cell that has the formula that you want to copy over to the next cell adjacent to it, let go, and there you go. So you can see up in the formula bar, it equals F12. It doesn't equal E12, it advanced to the next column, and you can click and drag, confirm it down below until you feel comfortable that what I'm showing you is accurate. In any case, you can pull out a calculator and add it up as well. All right, you don't have to use cells to go ahead and do a calculation. In other words, if I want to do some quick math and say, okay, what's 9 times 220? You can just go ahead and click off in any cell, type in equals, do 9, and the symbol for multiplication is the asterisk, which is over on the right-hand side of the keyboard in the keypad. Or you can hold down the Shift key and hit the number 8 on the main part of the keyboard. So there's multiply and then 220. And you see how I'm not selecting other cells. I'm actually putting it all into one cell and saying just perform the calculation there, hit enter. There you go. So if you have data out here that you want to include in the formula, as you saw up here, you can do it. Or if you don't have any data out here and you want to do something quick, and then when you're done, just delete it, that works too. And then of course, don't forget subtraction. So if we go equals, we type in 1,000 minus 999, enter 1.